So much of what we struggle with is doesn't exist. Actually, it's invalid. A lot of times when someone says you have a problem that you need to address, often what they're doing, they're telling on themselves. They're the problem. Uh, it's like Matt often says, "Pissed on breadcrumbs." Um, the search for truth, right? And there are no facts, only interpretations. And you will to truth. You keep on seeing that the truth about truths is like there is no truth. Or like Nietzsche best put it in the very beginning of Beyond Good and Evil. The very first sentence, preface, supposing that truth is a woman, what then? Um, so yeah, what is the truth about truth? But so much of what we struggled with, it's a trail leading to nowhere. A lot of things like truth. But when someone says you have a problem that you need to address, um, that, the person coming up to you addressing, giving you such a notion is the problem. These people, you can give them tons of solutions, whatever. Especially women, sometimes still struggle with, but when they're complaining, bitching, um, it's us men, we want to fix stuff, so we give them solutions. But see, they actually they hate you for that because you're taking away one of their primary tools to gain attention, which is bitching. You're taking away their excuse to bitch. Um, these people, they don't want the truth, but they'll claim that they do. So it just the will to truth can only take you so far. And especially my fellow, I don't know if you can see the back of their shirt, Quincy Uchas, my fellow oppressors, right? That everyone blames their shortcomings on because, the way we look. Um, we, we've been told that we need to address this, we need to address that, we need to be considerate of this, we need to be considerate of that. And it's like all the other groups, they just ask and ask and ask and demand, demand, demand. And when you think about it, like war has been waged against us, and we've been really considerate and like walking on or trying to walking on thin ice or whatever everywhere we go, just because of what we are, white straight males or whatever. And so better we know the other group's situations way better than they know our situation. They're totally clueless, and they're also clueless about their situation as well. Um, in the art of war, it says if you know yourself and know thy enemy, you need not fear the result of 100 battles. And we've been waged war against. And instead of taking responsibility, it's funny how taking responsibility. Sorry, I'm pulling back. It's funny how taking responsibility. The best way to take responsibility is to say that's not my responsibility. Nope. Just cut it out. No. Well, you need a okay. I'm an asshole. I'm a but shut up. It's not my program. I mean, modern men in general, we've been we need to be considered this, and this is our responsibility over here, and all these like little things of modern age. I mean, we are a man's most domesticated animal. I mean, who would recognize us men? With just all this stupid shit. Is this really what your heart desires? Is this what feeds your soul? Oh, just you need to do a little bit more here. It's getting more and more crazy, and just the overgoing is a downgoing. There is a magical aspect, at least I'm finding, when you just say fuck it. Um, it's kind of like with the restrictions. It's like, who wants to live under crazy restrictions? So yeah, the best way, often the best way to take responsibility is to not take responsibility. It's actually do the exact opposite. It's kind of like say you're dating a chick and she's like, instead of tending to the insanity, right, which she then despises you for, you just say, shut up, get the fuck out of here with that shit. Do not be considerate of thy neighbor. um I wrote a bunch of stuff earlier, but like one of the things that I wrote was an eye for an eye keeps an eye for an eye leads to a people, something like an eye for an eye. A policy of an eye for an eye leads to a people that can see. An ideology and age of mercy, grace, forgiveness, mandate of love thy neighbor leads to a whole world ran by criminals, uh, setting up a criminals justice system and a whole world of not sees. They're all Nazis out there. They don't see anything. Um, because we're too forgiving, too mercy and grace. People have been getting away with shit. So it's actually the opposite of what you're told. An eye for an eye. People are like, oh, they behave a lot differently then. It's more honest that way. So yeah, just it's basically just it's funny like how like the most caring thing you can do is not care. Rontimus and Danny, actually, they made some videos earlier today, which kind of really goes with this theme. Danny's was Wake Up, and Rontimus, actually, it's like a minute and a half long. I'll put both of their things in the description. But, yeah, Rontimus's one is Fall Faster. It's freaking awesome. And it goes in line with what I'm saying. So, like, the best way to take responsibility often is not to take responsibility. Or, like, Rontimus's video from today. Or it's to push. So that way, what's destined to fall, which is everything's collapsing, you should push it. Make it fall faster. If you can convince them to dance with you, so inevitably you guys could learn how to fly. If you couldn't get them to push them, because I mean I've already tried to look out for the people. I mean I used to get like upset. Sometimes I like cry for all of humanity. Like how pitiful all of it was. But they don't want to hear any of it. And then you realize like the minions and all that stuff, perhaps they're really not the true enemy. The true enemy is in most of the people around you. It's the decadence. It's the meek who is no longer inheriting the earth because the strong are waking up. The warriors, the destroyers, and therefore the creators. So yeah, take responsibility by not taking responsibility.